I was telling Melba and Christina, people are trying to compare this to the Pride, and it's not a comparison. It's a different avenue, different purpose, and I just want everybody to get information. So like the Ready at 5, that's something that I think people need to know, especially our community.
Yeah.
Is it over yet?
Yeah, it's over.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say something else.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Well, just thinking of community, and I'm thinking about Melva because she was my VP at Fruitland Intermediate.
She's probably in the 4th grade.
I mean, but she was my VP at Fruitland Intermediate, and I could call Melva when I was a teacher. I could call Melva when I was a reading coach. I called Melva just last week, and she made herself available to meet with me. So it's just, yeah, we just need community.
Well, and I tell people all the time, I told Christina this, I could have retired a few years ago,
Yeah.
but I will not retire until Wacomico says that they have people that are ready to step up and become principal. Because every time we have a principal of color that retires, I expect to see a principal of color moving
Yes,
up.
that
But
is
but
such
but
a
that
struggle.
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And so, like I told Christina, I said, I can't go until somebody's ready to slide right in my slot.
That's right.
And maybe that's thinking a little bit more highly of myself than I ought. But but I'm trying to think. I've got to influence enough people
That's
that
real talk.
somebody.
And she
will
has.
come up.
I
Yeah.
make myself
So-
visible because I remember her being visible
But
when I was a
that's-
student.
Mel,
I
don't
do.
want you
Awesome. Yeah.
to take
I do,
that too-
yeah.
I don't want you to take that lightly at all. That's real talk.
Yeah.
Well-
Our children, you know, the one disadvantage I have where Sam is, he does have Miss Hicks in a position, but I just worry. You know, I knew I grew up. I had teachers that taught my dad or taught my mom. They were on their way out, but I had them, and I don't know if he won't see a African American teacher possibly
Yeah.
till the 5th grade.
I had one at every grade level except first grade, and I've got 3 at second grade, 3 of the 4 at second grade.
That's one.
Who can say I've got a black guidance counselor? One of my special educators is black. I've got a black male music teacher. So God is good, but
Yeah.
that's only because I've stacked my deck. Let me just be for real, because it was so funny because Jenna saw a picture of our staff opening day at the Civic Center. She said, "Wait a minute, Mom. I cannot believe where you get all those people from." I said, "But Jen, you know, because when we just came from 3 school recruiting trip last week, and I'm looking for color. I don't know what the rest of them were looking
Yeah.
for. I'm looking for color because I've got a first grade opening as of Monday, next Monday, and I want a minority in first grade. That's the only grade I don't have somebody in. Of 3 schools we went to James Madison, nobody of any color. We went to George Mason. We should never go back there again. Waste of our time and money. We went to Virginia State because I said to the person who's in charge of recruiting, I said, you know, we really need to go to some HBCUs. And she said, okay. I said, but you can't go, baby, because they're not going to care that you're here.
Yeah.
They want if they're going to
That's right.
come to Wacomico, it's got to be some color attracting them to Wacomico, and the fact that we've all spent a little time in the county, because otherwise, you know, we're not going to draw what we want to draw. And it's so funny because our whole conversation on the way home was, did we find anybody we wanted to bring back? I found one young lady, but part of it is Salisbury. This area is not known enough, and so we've got to keep going to some of these places and build up some credibility. But there's also not a whole lot attracting people to come to the shore. It's just not. And the salary ain't attracting them. Worcester pays better than we do. Somerset's we're all commensurate with each other. But I mean, they're light years ahead of the rest of us. And so, but the salary alone isn't going to attract people. There have to be other things in the community. And so I think the community of color has to be able to offer something to that pot too, if we're going to get people, minorities to come. And so we've talked about some other recruiting efforts next year. I want to go to Alabama.
You'll
Cause
have
it's,
fun.
cause it's way more country than here.
Right.
So they gonna think they're coming to the
That's
city.
right.
I know we're paying better.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so
But
those are
if you
gonna
go
be
down there to
things.
Tuskegee
Uh-huh.
and Alabama State,
Yeah, Alabama
Uh-huh.
State, yeah.
But they graduate record numbers of teachers.
they
Do.
look for it.
And
Really?
so,
Okay.
right, yes.
We went down,
Yeah, we need to look
went
at
down
that.
to recruit for NASA, and we had some teachers come through.
See,
And
all
I
those
was saying,
people that didn't listen to the.
They didn't.
I
They
said,
didn't. That's it.
could you, I said, did you ever think about coming up to Maryland to teach? Because, it's still in my heart, teaching. And they said, no. I said, well, check it out. You all, even though your salary is not where it should be, your salary is doing good compared to Alabama.
My salary was doing good compared to right outside of
Yeah.
Raleigh.
Yeah.
I was talking
I
to a
know.
guy, he said 35,000. I went, as a teacher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I tell ya.
35,000.
I was recruited to come here from North Carolina, and I came because the salary was
We're going tomorrow,
much higher.
Wednesday, so
But
North
yeah,
Carolina
yeah.
to recruit.
It was so much higher than what I would have started out with in North Carolina. I took off
And you know
running to come
another
here.
thing? You all pay twice a month.
Yes.
Some states pay once.
Still only
And
paying
North
once.
Carolina
Wow.
used to be once a month.
Wow.
Yes.
I
It used
did
to be
not.
once a month.
I'm sorry, I'd cry.
That's
Oh my
exactly right.
gosh.
I don't know how it is now.
I'd
but
be
it
in
used to be
such
once a
trouble.
month.
So,
That's true.
we fight that too, getting minorities down at NASA, and I said the same thing to them. I said, don't go to the city to bring them to Wallops. Go to the country.
We are done recruiting in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been
Done.
having the same conversations in Somerset about recruitment, especially recruitment of minorities. And although I still am kind of young, I don't hold my tongue at all. And I'm very, outspoken. It's 2 black professionals in my school. I'm one of them, too. And I'm like, that is ridiculous. I mean, we have tons of paraprofessionals that are black. We have a lot of custodians that are black, and it's important to me to stay in Somerset because I grew up in a single family home. I grew up paying 40 cents for lunch, so we didn't really have, but I did something with myself so you can too. I mean, I didn't live in the projects per se, but, I understand you're saying struggles, and if I can do it, you can do it. So I try to really use that kind of platform to talk to, especially with these parents, especially because a lot of my parents are younger than me.
Yeah.
So I like to have conversation with them about that. But then also on the recruitment side, I need to be a recruiter. 1, because I look like I'm 12. And then 2, because I can speak about the county, because I'm passionate about it, not just because I just showed up here, but I can talk to you about coming to Somerset and why you want to be here. And when a black person sees me, they're going to come to my table because I look like you. That doesn't have anything against you,
Right.
but I understand, I have something that you don't have to offer. You need to be sending me on recruitment trips. You need me on your recruitment
Right.
team.
Yeah.
They have finally
I've
listened.
given back some recruitment trips because I just feel like I need to be in the building. But they would let me go whenever I wanted to go. But but the whole thing, even in recruitment, is we just have to have, but we also have to have a system that is going to
Yes.
value them and
Yes.
do everything they can to hold them,
Absolutely.
because it's not just about recruiting, and it's also about
retention, too.
retention.
Yes.
And so, anytime Wacomico hires 100 teachers every year, we don't have that bigger teaching staff to really. We don't have 100 retirements every year.
Mhm.
So we're not just replacing what's retiring. We're replacing people that are leaving, and why are people leaving? Because they don't necessarily feel supported. That is
Yeah,
probably
that's
the
right.
biggest reason
Mhm.
why we don't retain teachers. They don't feel supported, and so we've got to do a better job of retaining what we're getting if we want to keep them. And I still have too many colleagues who don't want black teachers, who just don't want them. Let me be for real.
That's the truth.
Who don't want
Yeah.
them, and so that is a problem for me. Never ever consider hiring a minority. Don't consider it until somebody says you need to have one.
Mhm.
I mean, we had schools that didn't have any. I think now everybody has at least one. I think.
We still have schools that
And
don't
this is
have
2019. We're
Yes.
talking about having
Right.
this.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Isn't
it's
it
true.
sad?
Right.
It's
It's
so
true.
sad.
It's true. But
It's
I'm just
so
saying,
sad.
this is 2019. If you
Mhm.
when we were in high school, if we had one, I could
Right,
understand
you were
in the
lucky.
80s.
But
But
now,
this is 2019.
and you can't tell me they're not out here because
That's
they
right.
are.
Yeah.
There are.
And they
But you're not gonna find them if you're going to the mountains of Pennsylvania. I tell them all the time, you will not find black people in the mountains and in water. And stop saying, teach at the beach or we're right by the ocean. We don't care about that.
Right, I don't care about
As a
We
matter of
that.
can't
fact,
I don't
swim.
care.
We're
I'm
not
trying
gonna
to stay
be
away from
there.
the ocean. I'm going to the ocean just to get some fries and a funnel cake
Right,
and come back home.
That's
Go
what
back
you.
home.
So our
Yeah,
approach
like-
to finding
Yeah.
people, we gotta do better. If we're really looking for minorities, then we need to be
And that's a
strategically
good
doing
point.
that.
If we're really looking. for
we're really
minorities.
So we
Yeah,
have
that's the
started
problem.
doing better. Like
No, I
we're
mean,
going
I'm
to
not saying you are,
HBCUs.
but I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
but I know.
Yeah.
But it takes conversations like this and for people to really be honest and for people to speak up because I'm like, if I don't say nothing, who is?
We had a situation at NASA. We've been trying. There's only 28 civil servant black people at NASA. There are other contractors, but just 28
Out of how many, Sam?
out of 350.
Ouch.
And we lost 4 last year. So I'm on a recruiting team, and they changed the way we're recruiting. And I said, okay, don't send me to Auburn University to try to find a black engineer, a black scientist. Send me to Tuskegee. Send me to Alabama State. Send me to Virginia State. Send me, So the recruiter, which is a white lady, she said, well, there should be some good minority students at. I said, ma'am, if you throw a stone in the middle of the ocean and try to hit a fish, that's what it's like for me to try to get a minority at a PWI. She was like, a PWI?
Yeah, they don't even know the acronym.
I said, a predominantly white institution. She was like, well, you came from a, I said, yeah, I graduated from a predominantly white institution, but that wasn't my first choice. My first choice was A&T.
Really? My
If
first choice was
A&T had
Towson.
not, I was ready to go. I was going to be an Aggie. I was Aggie down. A&T lost my paperwork 3 months before I was supposed to get there.
Oh, wow.
And Charlotte Henry said, no, you're not going there.
Well, see, that's typical HBCU
Yeah.
stuff, though.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know that is Jenna at Livingstone, where Valerie at Towson. I mean, rebates came on time, and at Livingstone, it might be half the semester by the time you got $1 back. And so, it was just a very interesting, different environment. But Jenna did amazing at Livingstone.
Right.
She would not have done that well at a PWI where she was a number. She wouldn't have.
Yeah.
At Livingstone, I mean, she distinguished herself.
Right.
But the school size, but also the caring family. She didn't do something. Dr. P was on her. Dr. This one. I mean, people were behind her. Come on, Jen. Come on, Jen. And so, you
that's-
don't get that at a PWI.
And, yeah, and that's interesting because we didn't get that at Virginia Tech, but we had one lady. She rode my back till times got better, which was one of your sorors, Nikki Giovanni.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, she was.
I went in her English class, second semester. I said, well, I can't write. She said, well, baby, look, when you leave here, you're going to be able to write something. And she stayed on me. That lady was nothing but the truth. But we didn't realize who we had because when I came back and they were like, well, who's your English professor? I said, Nikki Giovanni. Do you realize who that is? I was like, yeah.
She the English teacher. That's
The
all I
English
know.
teacher.
that's right.
The one get on my nerves be calling me every week and talking about, you got your work. She would call me, literally call me every Sunday. You got your paper done.
See, you didn't even know who was calling.
I was like,
It's all good, though.
but those are things. But again, I know the time's getting late, but I really appreciate you all
Well, thank
helping.
you.
This is, I hope it inspires parents to understand what's going on. And I hope
So,
it,
how do you distribute them?
Yeah.
So, this first issue was 1,500. I got 1,500 out, and I put them at different places. This next issue, I'm going to put 2,000 out. So I'm trying to increase. They're going to be at churches. I'm looking for places like churches. Somerset is hard because I don't know Somerset as well. I know Wycomico, I know Worcester, so I know where to put them there. I don't really know places that have them at Hilltop Barbershop and some restaurant. But some restaurant called The House. I don't know. It's out there by Family Dollar. Some right
In
there.
Princess Anne?
Yeah. used to be a Chinese restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So he had
I don't
something.
even know what it's called. They've been through
Yeah.
so many things.
Yeah, but I'm really trying to find, and the plan is to get UMES involved. So I have an interview with a young lady from the UMES basketball team on
Oh,
Wednesday,
cool.
and her coach. And then I'm trying to make a, pretty much like a college corner. So I want to spotlight different colleges, HBCUs. People say, why aren't you not doing, PWI? Let's start somewhere.
You do what
I
you
need to
want to do,
start
yeah.
somewhere. So it starts somewhere close. So like Elizabeth City is not too far away. Morgan, Cobb, the ones that are close that people can just like jet to and come back.
Mallory's at Morgan, but one of her professors comes to Wacomico County for something. I'm supposed to be meeting up with Dr. Anderson at some point. It's one of Mallory's professors.
And see, that's what I really want to do is really, like if I talk to Mallory, connect that way and say, what should I put in about Morgan that will be attractive to a young person, And I'm really trying to use connections. That's
I got plenty of people at
Yeah.
Livingstone. Jenna can connect you with
Right.
all kinds, because it's a small institution, church owned, and they are very embracing. And there are always people from here down there.
Yeah.
So that's the plan is really, so the book will probably get a little bit thicker, probably maybe 20 pages thicker.
Okay.
Because education is important. So with the information you give about Ready at 5 and some things that go on in high school that parents need to look out for, as well as colleges. I really want to showcase colleges because I don't want parents to say, oh, I didn't know. So
We
each
teach them
issue,
about
Yes.
for
Fast
Yeah,
food.
fast food.
Yeah, absolutely.
and having
Right.
those kind of conversations because, we all been through it as far as going to college. But
and the information about the Black Common app. Nobody knows about the Black Common app.
That's exactly
Somebody
right.
hit me to it before Jenna went to college.
Yeah.
One application fee, you automatically apply to 33 HBCUs.
Yeah.
One little $40 or $50 fee, and a guidance counselor told me about it. Roland Baker
I will put
told
that
me
in
about
there.
it.
Yeah.
I'll
But
put that in.
all they've got to do is blackcommonapp.com or something
Yeah,
like that.
sure is.
But who knew?
I know.
mean, and I'm trying to tell
And the
church
school
kids
counselors are not telling kids
No,
about that
they're
because they
not.
don't know to tell kids because
because they don't.
they
know.
don't
And
look like,
and I think we all know, to be real talk, we all know what the counselors do. We all know
discouraged.
the
Sorry, did I say
counselors.
that?
We all know what those
Yeah.
counselors do. So, and of course, we know what excuses are. Tools of the incompetent.
You're mindless
Listen
and
up.
nothingness.
So, therefore, I really want to solve. I want to use my part in solving the problem, and you all can help me with that. Like the Black Common App, that would be something that goes in the July August issue, for or I can put in the next issue so they'll know. My mom does the Greater Berlin Scholarship Committee.
Yeah.
That's going in this next issue because that's money. They've been doing it for 30 years, giving out money. They've given over millions of dollars. This little committee of 10 black people
That's right. Yeah.
been given money, $2,000 and $3,000 scholarships, 5 at a time each year for 30 years. And nobody, gives them their flowers. And I really want to make sure people are getting that, and I want to educate our parents. Maybe they won't pick it up, maybe they will. A lot of people gave me feedback about this front copy. My wife said it was scary, but at the same time, I wanted to make a
It was
presence.
nice.
I wanted to make it.
It's a very good magazine. I read
Thank
this.
you.
It's very
I
good.
really want to.
Well, I'm definitely going to read it.
I take time.
I stole one from the church, to be honest.
But
so
your online presence is everything. Is
Right.
the whole magazine is online. See, that's how Mallory will read it. So I'll text her and tell her.
So
read it.
it's right in the www.inspire1.com.
Okay.
And if you go on there and just go under, it has
Okay.
it's a gallery and it's going to have each issue in the gallery.
Okay.
Then
I'll
they can
send
just
you
go
some
and
of
flip
that.
and all that. So
You should probably add in too, like, I know you said you're gonna do something on like the organizations, but like most of the organizations have some type of like youth program. Like my gyms, we do college tours and we do sessions on that kind of stuff. And I
That'd
know
be
the
great.
AKAs have the whatever it's called, but like they do stuff too. So that may be a resource too that people may not know, because like we I know for us, we advertise like really pretty much do like word of mouth. Like it's in the guidance departments, but how many guidance counselors like, oh, you need to be in Delta Gyms? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you don't know the right people, you may miss
You
out
never
on
get
an
connected,
opportunity.
right.
So this is
Yeah.
a perfect place
Because
to.
you know, and there are pricing, but I don't, I have to have pricing because that's how I
Yeah.
pay for it.
Mhm.
But I don't want people to be discouraged by pricing because just like back in the day, we worked something out.
Yeah.
You know, having an empty page that doesn't give a child information about opportunities is a real disservice, and that's on me. I don't want to not get, you know, there could be a girl somewhere that your Delta program could
really help.
really help.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what am I worried, you know, of course I gotta pay for it, but what am I worried about that money when I could help influence a child?
Yeah.
You know, it's all about, you know, and people say, you know, one lady, white lady said to me, well, I'm white, but can I read it? I said, ma'am, I do.
Yeah,
By all means, read. By all means,
Yeah,
read.
read it.
Because I want you to see some of the stuff that we face.
Mhm.
Because sometimes they don't know
Right.
what goes on in
You
our
know,
culture.
I want you to know that we do face mental health issues. We do face depression
We try
and
not to tell
suicide.
people we do, but we do.
You know, but
Yeah.
Big Mama
Yeah,
said, you
that's
know,
true.
you don't tell all your business.
What goes on this house stays in this house.
Isn't that
But,
the truth, Lord?
so I really do appreciate it. Please don't, I'm glad. This is my third interview. I had a young lady, and her name is Tasha Bateman.
Mm. Yeah, I grew up with her in church.
She's an executive chef
Yep.
up in Easton. She had a little turbulent past she
Mhm.
told me about, but she's in charge of 600
Yeah.
people up in Easton. She's an executive chef.
Wow.
And she's going to be in this. And it's
Wow.
That's wonderful.
just like different people. And I've come to the conclusion when I ask people if I can interview her, I can put you in a magazine. And I had several people say, oh, well, let me pray about it. I said, well, it's not that deep. I'll be okay.
I'm sorry.
It's not, because I want, you know, this right here can save so many people. You know,
That's right.
you know, I had one guy say he picked and read up about the mental health issues, and he was really going through a serious depression. And he didn't say he was contemplating, but he was alluding to the fact that, you know, suicide was one of his options. And he got himself together, and, you know, and whatever. But that's what I want this to do. So you all look for it. I like that shot. I like that shot we took back there.
Yeah.
I
That's
do.
right.
So it's I haven't titled it yet, but it's going to be about leadership, African American women leaders in the school system. I'm gonna shorten it up and make it jazzy, but so don't be surprised if you don't see me on the front cover.
All right. You're looking for it.
You can get a little signature.
Any, yeah. Touch up.